Welcome to rSlash Am I the Devil, where OP cheats on his wife 25 times and somehow he's the victim. Our next Reddit post is from rSlash Am I the Butthole. Am I the butthole for threatening to kick out my coworker/roommate for kissing my best friend? I'm a 23-year-old woman, and I let my coworker Jaden, who's 25, and his daughter Leah, who's 6, move in with me. We were coworkers and friends for 3 years, and he's always been so funny, smart, and cute. We became really close friends. Unfortunately, work decided that they can't afford to keep everyone, and they've been making cuts. And Jaden was basically forced to quit. I knew that he was really worried about his rent and everything, and my roommate was leaving, so I offered him to stay with me and we worked out an agreement. We decided that while he's still looking for a job, he would deal with all the chores and errands and housework. It's honestly been amazing having him live with me. He's such a great cook. And Leah has actually been really well behaved and sweet. He's helped me out a lot, and I really enjoy being able to spend all this time with him. He's found some part-time work, but nothing that pays enough for him to live alone. So we've mostly kept our agreement, just with me doing more and him helping pay a little. My friends have come over quite a few times, and obviously they've met him. Last weekend, I had a bunch of my friends stay over. I thought it went great, but the next day, Leah told me that she saw Jaden kiss my female best friend. I was really upset, and Jaden and I ended up arguing about it. I told him how betrayed I felt. He tried to say that it was fine, that apparently this kiss wasn't intentional, and he didn't say anything because they didn't know what it meant. But it's still wrong. I'm doing so much, only for him to do this to me. I got upset and told him that he'll have to leave if he wants to take advantage of my kindness. That I don't want to live with someone who betrays me like that. He was offended and just tried to act like it was no big deal and that I was being crazy. He thinks that I have no right to say anything about his love life, even though it's my best friend and I'm doing so much for him. Our talk didn't really work, but I did talk to my best friend and she agreed to back off. The last few days have been horrible, and he doesn't think that he's done anything wrong. I've tried to talk to him again, but he now refuses to and has been really cold. And he's told me that he'll move out as soon as he can. I don't think I've done anything wrong. It's his own fault. I want to work this out, but he shouldn't be going around kissing my friends. But the fighting has really upset Leah, and obviously Jaden thinks that I'm the butthole even if he's being selfish. And then OP posted an edit. I'm not jealous. This isn't about jealousy. I'm not in love with him or anything. I'd know if I was. This is just about him betraying me, about him going behind my back. Like I've said, it's not about jealousy. I am not in love with Jaden. It's just rude and ungrateful to sneak around and do what he did. Spoiler alert, it is about jealousy and OP is in love with Jaden. Because otherwise, why would she care about two consenting adults kissing? You'd think she'd be excited that her two closest friends had a thing for each other. OP is literally being a jealous girlfriend when she's not a girlfriend. Also, oh man, you can't make this up. Down in the comments, OP confesses to having feelings for him and that if he asked her out, she wouldn't turn him down. She also claims that Leah sees her as a mother figure, so I guess she just has this fantasy of them eventually hooking up, but her reality came crashing down. I'd have sympathy for her if she weren't such a jerk about it. Our next Reddit post comes from r/Am I the Butthole. Am I the butthole for pulling a little joke on my kids? I'm a 37-year-old woman and I have 3 kids, a 10-year-old girl, a 7-year-old boy, and a 5-year-old girl. They've been ranting and raving about wanting to go to Great Wolf Lodge for about a year now. For those who don't know, Great Wolf Lodge is an indoor water park. There's a new one a couple of hours away from us, but we just can't afford it. They know this, and we've told them many times, but they still ask to go. My mother has offered to take them, which I declined because I don't want to feel indebted to her. On Sunday, my husband and I decided to take the family on a little trip to a mini golf place. We kept it as a surprise for the kids, but when we told them we were going somewhere fun, they immediately thought that it was Great Wolf Lodge. My husband and I decided to pull a silly little prank on them. When we were driving there, we made it seem like we were going to Great Wolf Lodge, and the kids got all excited. Then we pulled into the Great Wolf Lodge parking lot just to pull back out, and they got disappointed when we did. They were crabby the rest of the ride home, and while my 10-year-old had fun at mini golf, the other two didn't want to be there and barely participated. They're all mad at me now, but I don't think it was wrong since it didn't harm anyone. My mother is harping at me about it. Am I the butthole for pulling a harmless prank on them? OP, where's the joke? Where's the funny part? Who's laughing? It doesn't even seem like you and your husband were laughing. It was just mean to be mean. So it's not really a harmless prank, it's just cruelty. Our next Reddit post comes from r/relationships. I'm a 32-year-old man and my girlfriend is 29. I've tried everything to help my grieving girlfriend, but she refused to cooperate and chose her best friend, a 30-year-old guy, over me. I've been with my girlfriend for 6 months. We live 2 hours apart, but we try to spend every weekend together, and because she often works from home, she can come over during weekdays. Despite this distance, we have a strong relationship. Her mother died unexpectedly last week. My girlfriend didn't want to be alone, but I couldn't visit her, so I told her that she can come over. She said that she wouldn't feel safe driving that much in her mental state. I accepted that and promised that I would visit as soon as I can. However, the next day, I found out that she spent the next night at her best friend Brock's house. Brock is a 30-year-old guy. My problem is that she said she can't drive to my place, but then she could go to his. Yeah, he's closer than me, but she probably drove there too. Still, even though I had every right to point that out, I let it slide because of the situation with her mom. On Friday, I was finally able to visit, and I found her asleep in the middle of the day. Her hair unwashed, used tissues everywhere. Brock and his boyfriend were there, cooking some weird soup. I didn't want to make a scene. I politely told the boys they can leave because I can take care of my own girlfriend. Wait, leave? Isn't this their house? I could tell they didn't like it, but they left. When my girlfriend finally woke up, I told her it's time to wash her hair, clean up, and then we'll go to a hardware store. What? I'm a carpenter, and I've always wanted to teach her basic stuff that everyone should know to be able to handle things around the house. It was the perfect opportunity because lying around won't make things better. I told her about my plan, and she looked at me like I was an alien. She said that she doesn't care about carpentry, but I insisted that it would help distract her because she can't spend her life on a couch. I'm sorry, this is really ridiculous. We argued a bit, and then she tried to compromise by saying that we could walk over to Brock's and have dinner there. It's a really long walk, so she'll spend time outside the house, but she feels safe there and won't be embarrassed if she starts to cry. I absolutely refused because Brock and his boyfriend are the ones who allowed her to end up in this state. They let her do nothing all day, cooked for her, even changed her sheets. They acted like they're her new mothers or something. When I told my girlfriend these worries, she snapped and said that I'm making things worse. That she doesn't need my carpentry lessons when she hasn't even buried her mother yet. And that Brock and his mother are the only ones who provide real comfort, so she'll go there whether I like it or not. I said that if she goes there, I'll go back home. She said, "Good, one less butthole in my life." I'm back home, and it hurts so much that she didn't appreciate my help and chose Brock. But I love her. In my opinion, I did everything, having her best interest at heart. I'm interested in your advice, guys, because I want to make the relationship work. But I can't change who I am. I don't want to lose her, but I can't lose myself either. All right, who out there predicted carpentry lessons? Anyone? Hey, sorry your mom died. You want to build a birdhouse or something? Well, yo, what is this guy talking about? The top comment from Generic Villain is, were you going to teach her how to build a coffin? Also, I've got to point out this comment from Milo the Magnificent. Also, I guarantee that she did not drive to Brock's. Brock absolutely drove over to pick her up. It would truly never occur to this jerk to have a little consideration and compassion. All he knows is that he would have made her drive regardless of the distance or her emotional state. Maybe OP isn't so wrong here, because if someone I love died and then some other dude came over to my house and started trying to get me to build kitchen cabinets, then I'd probably have a harder time focusing on my dead mom or whatever, because I'd be so bewildered by this lunatic trying to get me to build cabinets. Our next Reddit post comes from rSlash Am I Wrong? Am I wrong for ending a date and walking out after only 10 minutes because my date told me that I should remove my hat? I met a woman on Facebook dating, and we decided to meet at a casual steakhouse restaurant with a bar after a very brief discussion online. I'm in my early 40s, and I just don't have the time or energy to waste anymore. I met her at the restaurant, and she did not look like her pictures. With filters these days, it's to be expected, though I would expect someone around my age to be more honest with her dating profile pictures. She looked close enough like her pictures to not call it a catfish. We get seated next to the bar where they're playing a UFC fight and basketball. We start talking, and after 5 minutes, she asks me if I'm going to keep my hat on and says that I should take it off at the table. I laughed, but I thought about it for 30 seconds, dropped a $20 bill on the table for the drink that I ordered that hadn't arrived yet, and said, "Thanks. But I don't see this going anywhere," and I walked out before she was able to respond. A woman trying to correct my behavior less than 5 minutes after meeting me over wearing a hat at the dinner table of a restaurant playing a cage fight just isn't the vibe that I'm looking for. Okay, so the post here isn't that bad. It's just kind of, picky loser vibes. But the reason why this was posted to rSlash is because of his comment down below. She could have been a lady and shut her mouth and dare not talk to a man like that. Because when those hat-wearing traditions were established, that's how a lady behaved. Yo, I actually have a kind of interesting fact about this. There was actually a time, back in England specifically, when men were required to wear hats. But it didn't have anything to do with being a gentleman or being proper. It was just capitalism. Basically, English law required every single man in England to wear a hat made of English wool just to boost wool sales. Isn't that dumb? Imagine getting a ticket because you aren't wearing a hat. Every single man in England was literally required to make wool farmers richer. So when this guy's talking about hat-wearing traditions, that's what he's talking about. Rich people convincing lawmakers to put more money in their pockets. Our next Reddit post comes from r/AmITheButthole. Am I the butthole for throwing away food that I know my girlfriend wanted? I'm a 25-year-old guy, and I live with my 23-year-old girlfriend. Recently, I threw away the leftovers of a meal that I cooked because she said that she wanted to try some. For a bit of background, when we moved in together, we agreed that we would each only cook for ourselves and use our own dishes, which was my idea. The issue is that sometimes she'll ask if she can have a bite of my food that I'm cooking just to try it. Or she wants to eat some of the leftovers I cook, and then she offers to cook for both of us the next night. She now claims that it's a ridiculous rule to have, and that I should grow out of the rule by now. On to the incident. I had made a stir fry, and I was finishing putting the leftovers in a container when she blatantly told me to just leave it out so that she can have some. I, of course, said no, and that I don't want her to eat what I cook. And I put it in the container and into the fridge and started to leave the kitchen. I went to the living room to grab my phone before going back to the kitchen to grab a drink when I saw my girlfriend pulling my food out of the fridge and taking the lid off. I went over to the counter and grabbed the container and dumped the food in the trash to prevent her from eating it. She stayed silent the whole time before finally calling me a butthole and storming off. I don't really think that I'm the butthole, as we agreed to this arrangement before moving in. But some friends said that it's time to move on from my weird obsession and just share food already. So, am I the butthole? Also, OP clarifies that they don't share food, not even spices. So OP doesn't even share salt with his girlfriend. Yo, you think that when they're in the bedroom, he's like, "Don't swallow that, spit it out, that belongs to me." Our next Reddit post comes from r/TodayIF'd Today I effed up by becoming an accidental corn star and my wife finding out. I'm an American guy who lives in Tokyo doing hotel development. My wife is Japanese American and runs a translation business. My job requires me to travel a lot, including to Bangkok every couple of months. As many of you know, Thailand is well known for prostitution. While my wife and I have a great relationship, I can't go more than a couple of weeks without intercourse, so I engage in it in Thailand. There's this one beer bar I like with a great atmosphere, tons of attractive bar girls and affordable prices. I've been there maybe 20 or 25 times, having intercourse there each time. It's 100 baht for the girl short time, plus 500 baht bar fine and 500 baht for a room. So that's 2,000 baht, or about $60. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I learned that they have cameras in the room. And a lot of ladies record their encounters and sell them online or stream them on OnlyFans. I learned that I'm in a few of these videos. Here's where the Today I Effed Up comes in. I contact one lady asking her to take it down, and she proceeds to dox and blackmail me. I should have just let it be and hoped that no one found out. I refused to pay her blackmail and just blocked her. Well, yesterday, she contacted my wife on Facebook and told her, "My wife is currently not talking to me." Down in the comments, people are calling out OP, and OP says, "I'm the victim. It's the fault of the one doing something illegal." Ironic, considering that even though prostitution is common in Thailand, it's also illegal. That was rSlash and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.